Well, you can't live in St. Louis too long before you get to know just about everybody. And we actually traced back how long. I met you when you were 7, I guess, because it's been 15 years. 2007. It was the first.
He's giving me more credit than I deserve, seriously.
But welcome, everybody. Tammy Degenhart, real estate expert. And been in the real estate industry since when was it? 20 something years or so.
Yeah.
80?
30.
Okay,
like
long
30.
time.
Yeah.
And it's impressive to have people with your knowledge and background.
Thank you.
And so we wanted to invite you to be here and talk to us on the Your Little Castle show.
Right. Well, I bought my first home 39 years ago. And
when you were 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. I need that fake ID yet. But then I started doing flip houses probably right at 30 years ago, and didn't have my real estate license, and I went to work for government and retired from there a little over 5 years ago. Still wasn't sure what I wanted to be when I grew up. And finally found my niche. My girls decided for me, you need to be in real estate, because we were doing live-in staging and moving and selling nice homes in town and country area, and loved the real estate market. So this to me is, after working business developing and sales and marketing for Illinois Correctional Industries for so many years and learning how that worked with government, now I'm able to help people, friends, colleagues, whatever, out in figuring out real estate and how to put them in their dream home or the perfect, investment, whatever.
Right. Well,
So,
it is an investment, and people
is.
don't realize how important it is to have somebody as knowledgeable as somebody. The expertise you bring is kind of extraordinary.
Thank you.
And I want people to understand it. If you do notice on the wall behind me, everybody, this is our TV wall that we've constructed for our little studio here, and this is our own studio. But the nice thing about the TV wall is it's 9 televisions, 11-foot diameter, 50. These are 50-inch televisions, and yours truly helped build that together. I'm a little bit of a construction guy, thanks to my dad's expertise. But behind you can see on the wall, Carroll House Furniture. If you happen to, and I know you've sent some business to Brooke.
Constantly,
talked about,
because you like nice things.
Because you like nice things.
He's a great friend of mine, and totally support Brooke.
And part of the inspiration behind Your Little Castle was when Brooke was on our other show, the Cowboy and Judge show, that's been on ABC for a long time. He explained the whole "your" and the possessive that means. Give someone else ownership, right? It's yours.
That's exactly
and
right.
I remember I said that in grad school back when I was talking about it's all about you. And the teacher said, "Who's it about? Who's everybody?" Said, "Oh, you talk about the consumer." He said, "Talk about you." And I think Brooke had that before I did, obviously. But then I started looking up domains for our show, the idea we had. And my little castle was taken, but Your Little Castle was available.
Right.
So thank you, Brooke, for that. Pretty cool. Then, as it will be, and continues to be, we have a lot of sponsors. So Brooke is our keynote. This is the Carroll House studio, if you will. But hey, we've actually partnered now with USA Mortgage. Most people know I do have my mortgage license. I am a licensed mortgage loan officer, and so we're going to have some technical data across the bottom here for all the contact information that we have to make sure everybody is aware of, because all the licensing that's necessary for all that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So shout out to the sponsors. So let's talk a little about now with regard to your expertise and what you're doing in the industry. We took some good notes. You gave me some great notes. I like that. A lot of people count on me to bring all the notes, and I'm real cool, and I'm fairly adept and can research. But when it comes down to it, if they bring some stuff, some important facts about their background or industry terms and information, that's better.
I literally got my license due to the push of my 3 girls September 7th last year. So it's going on a year, but did a lot of flip houses prior to. There's a lot going on right now. The market is starting to normalize. It's not as strong of a seller's market as we have been experiencing The interest rates rising has eliminated some of the buyers from the marketplace, but also buyers are becoming more selective. They're not as willing to overpay for homes in average condition. They want inspections, surveys, appraisals, etc. Instead of just, there for a while we were seeing people waive the inspections and they were waiving the surveys and they were way over, not saying their house doesn't work that, but offering a lot more than what you're seeing now. But however, the inventory is still a factor. Sellers should consider putting their home on the market now because buyers are still looking and they're looking for that right home for them. Home appreciation will continue, but not on the scale we have seen in the past couple of years. People with the correct pricing and improving home value or condition is once again becoming an important factor.
Well, yeah, very important stuff, and especially when in such a volatile market. We've had ups and downs.
Right.
Ups for the last couple of years. People act like that's the way it's been forever.
Right.
And everybody knew there was going to be an adjustment, if you will. And so here we are, and now it's kind of normalized. I like the way you say
back
that.
in like 1985, you look at the interest rates back then, they were 13%, 12%. When I bought my home back in, again, 39 years ago, I paid 7.5%, and that was the normal.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you see it go down to where you're seeing 2% interest rate. I hope I do, but I doubt I ever see that in my lifetime again. Maybe my kids or my grandkids will, but I doubt I do. So this, people are scared of this 5 and 6%. It's really not bad. You're married to your home and you date the rate. So you're just dating the rate.
Because that'd be something you can change.
You can change that. If it goes down, you can refinance.
But you'll have to sell your house to do that. You can keep living there. It's called a refinance. Right?
There's always ways around it. You can work with your lender and get an amortization program, and you can get like one payment ahead and pay bi-monthly and knock 7 years immediately off a 30-year loan. But you need to talk to your lender to see if they offer that. There's always
how do they apply against the interest and simple interest versus compound?
So they're not taking it off the back of the loan. And the sellers and buyers are looking for agents with strong, negotiating, pricing, and communication skills. Sellers want real value provided through outstanding marketing. And, I would love the opportunity to present listing concierge and superior and proven program that we offer at Coldwell Banker Gundaker. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot for a lot of people to comprehend there. I'm a marketing guy by trade, and then that's where the mortgage guys came to me and said, "Hey, man, you've been doing this so long for mortgage guys. Get your license." So that's what we did almost getting close to 2 years ago.
But now, with the rates going up, it is normalizing. It's becoming more it's buyers and sellers. But there's still a market. There's still a shortage. If you're looking at selling your home, now's the time to do it. There's still a shortage of homes. And there's buyers out there looking for the exact home, the perfect home for them. Everybody has something specific that they're looking for. And so yeah, I would love the opportunity to work with anyone if they want to reach out and go over different options and for buying or selling or whatever.
Yeah, it's buyers and sellers are both needed, right?
They are.
And it's easy to get a hold of Tammy. The domain she's got here is pretty awesome. Tammy Degenhart's a kind of a difficult name for some.
It is.
My name.
Everybody says it's D-A. It's D.
Yeah. My Reth Wish. I'm just Carter, right? Or the cowboy. I'll put the hat on here at some point, but I do have the rings on there. But TammyDsells.com, and your phone number right there, everybody can see it.
618-920-9701. Yes, I'm in St. Louis. I worked for government in Illinois, and I just kept the number because that's what everyone has.
Right. And so obviously easy to get a hold of you. I've known you, like I said, we figured out at least 15 years.
At least.
And we'll share a little bit about that. On the wall behind us, everybody take a look there. We have a couple slides we created. We do that for our guests here that come into the studio. And It's just kind of fun to share some of the past, especially when you know somebody like we do. I'm going to switch us out to the wide shot. There's our wide shot, get the whole TV wall. But I'll put up here, so let's go through a little bit about Tammy. And so that's slide one. I'm going to slide our starting slide. That's the larger slide. That was on there. But to fit it into the screen for the tight shot, that's camera 2 we put this one up. But here we'll go to picture number 3.
Oh, there we go. There's an old one.
There is an old picture.
Yeah.
See, look at that hat on my head right now.
Yeah.
But that is not my
That was
hat.
like 6 years ago. Yeah.
And,
my friend got hit with that ball.
But there it is. There, I actually, so that people can see this more clearly, because I'm sitting in front of it, it's a little easier to do that. I'll do my little shortcut here. We've got a keyboard shortcut. I've got a magical keyboard underneath the table, everybody. But this puts it on the screen. Now they can hear us, but they can't see us.
Yeah.
This picture, I look like I was about 30 years younger right there.
Yeah.
And since you're about 37 now, since we've known each other since you were 20, you were like 22 right there, I guess. But you,
Don't I wish?
You borrowed my hat for a minute for that picture, and we do allow certain people to put the hat on.
He usually doesn't.
But you're holding a baseball. This is a big game there down at Busch Stadium. A lot of fun. This is kind of where we go back. Right? Yeah. And we go back. I can't sing too much because they do say, "Oh, Carter, you sound so much like the original artist, and you're going to get in trouble for purposes of copyright." But a lot of fun there. Let's talk a little bit more about what some of the work you've done. And I'm going to put this up here for everybody to see. I'll put it on the wall. We might switch between the two we have. But here's a house close to your heart a little bit. This is
my first one I sold.
First house sold right here.
Yeah, that was
Tell us a little bit about this one.
This was my oldest daughter's house. She got married and they bought a new home. So, yeah.
And that was it.
That was it.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. And so start off with a nice little house as your first house on the market, and you did a great job there. So some people have family and they know what you do, and they still don't let you become their representative or agent or client. Yeah. But in this case, I said, no, Mom knows what she's doing.
They're the ones that talked me into doing this. Yes.
Right. Very cool. All right, let's go to the next one here. This one's pretty awesome, pretty powerful looking house.
I was looking for my daughter a house that was moving to St. Louis, and this house was for sale by owner. And she was outside, and I approached her about my daughter seeing this house. And she ended up letting me list it. And she was downsizing, and I got to be very good friends with her. She cooked for me. I took her out to eat. Wonderful woman, had raised 3 kids there, and it was a joy working with her. Totally. Great memories.
Well, you're doing some good work. You've got some. We're not talking about small houses you're starting off with here. This is some people obviously with some financial means, and they said, hey, we can trust Tammy to get this done. All right, let's take a look here. Tell us about this next house. This one was kind of impressive, I noticed. And hey,
that one we just closed on last week. Just a guy approached me about being his real estate agent, and we actually got this one $25,000 less than listing price. So, and nowadays that does not even happen. Almost 3 acres in Kirkwood. So beautiful home, and he is just now getting settled in. So it's been a great home, great sell. You know, I'm learning different areas of different part of towns that I never even knew existed, and this was one of them.
Cool. Let's take a look here. I'll go ahead, while we're on the screen here, I'm going to even we'll switch to the next one you've got. This is impressive. Tell us about this one.
This is a client's house that has 3 children, wants another one, and will be hopefully there for a long time. It's a great home, sits again on 3 acres, and it just, the windows in this home is amazing. It's very beautiful home. It's in Chesterfield, and so yeah.
Well, yeah,
another great home.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm going, all right, now we're getting really on
in-ground pool. I mean, this house has it all.
Very cool. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Well, the great example of, I mean, when you get into a home like this becomes a major asset. There's a lot of people, a lot of their wealth is
Yes.
involved with their home, because
Well, that's where I put a lot of gratitude into my customers, because they're trusting me with their number one purchase in life, their biggest purchase, whether it be their first home or their fifth one. It's still a huge purchase, and they're trusting me to that. And I just am humbled by that. So I will do everything I can to, like the last sale we had last week, I scheduled his movers, I scheduled power washing and different things that typically you don't do, but I'm glad to be a part of all this. So, yeah.
So when it comes down to selling a house, there's obviously a lot more that goes into that as a matter of, it's not just somebody walks in and says, hey, sell my house. Okay,
yes.
thank you. See you
No,
later.
there's a lot of showings, there's a lot of running the tires off your car and doing your homework for them and figuring out exactly what fits them. And you show 50 homes for you sell one. It's realtors, hats off to all of them. They work hard for their customers. So, yeah.
Why would you argue that people at this point should put their house on the market at this point right now? I mean, a lot of people say, oh, wait a minute, the price is because...
No, if they're thinking about selling, because before, the reason they weren't selling because they couldn't find anything comparable to what they had or in the price range of what they wanted, because the market, there literally was no inventory. I'm not saying no. People are specific to what they're looking for. And there was not an inventory for, why should I sell my house for this price? Because I'm going to overpay on the next price too. There still was a bidding war going on. And there is still that a little bit, but not as we have been experiencing in the past 2 years. It's, like I said, it's more normalizing now. And,
well, that is a key to it. Talk a little bit about, as we put up here,
Coldwell Banker Gundaker.
Here is the office now that you're...
Town and Country, beautiful area. Come see me, call me. We'll set up an appointment, and hopefully I can work to put you in your dream home or sell your current home if you're downsizing or upgrading or whatever that may be. Like I said, I'm totally grateful for any and all business.
Yeah. Well, and again, I like to emphasize somebody has the background that you have, having such a history. Somebody who's also done some renovating of homes too, flipping.
A lot of renovating.
We'll talk about it in a general sense, but just with so many years doing this, literally, that's what the kind of experience you don't normally experience. You don't normally get with a lot of the realtors that are out there to have that kind of background. And I think that's something that is very key that people should understand when you're making a decision as to somebody who's going to sell your $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 house. Maybe you should make sure that they can be up to the task,
right?
To accommodate that. Would you think that's important for most people to consider?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. With a lot of rental properties, and when I started out, I was buying a lot of foreclosures, and this was, again, 30 years ago that I started that, and was kept them for a few years as rental properties, and then I would sell them without even having my license. If I knew then what I know now, I'm kind of kicking myself for not having my license many years ago. So, no, love what I do. It's not, they say if you love what you do when you go to work, you're not going to work, and I love what I do. I try to make everyone happy and give them the experience that then I get referrals for, know.
Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
There you go.
Right?
Exactly.
I love that quote.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about home appreciation with regard to the current climate.
Right.
It is still that houses are going to continue to, obviously, unless there's some major catastrophe. We can't guarantee these kinds of things, obviously, but homes do traditionally go up. So if there's a reduction now in the overall cost, that's kind of just essentially, there have been corrections there. So houses then were not worth as much and they went down. So if you're taking these big leaps up, watch out, that comes back down. And then it'll start to go gradual.
They'll totally go back up. If you can look at life over everybody's span of life, life is like a wheel. It's going to turn and it's going to keep turning. And real estate's the same way. But the thing with real estate, it's real estate. You can touch it. You can feel it. It's not like the market crashes and you lose it. You still own it. You can touch it. It's something you have. I honestly feel there's a reason that companies are coming in and buying up a lot of properties. I don't know what exactly why, but yeah, you can,
there's some definite speculation, I know, as to the method for the future, where there's these companies
yes,
that
it's just
lease these houses out, and nobody will own houses, they argue, in the future. But that's why it might be even more valuable to own a house at this point, because
I just
you own it
think
before
you
somebody.
own real estate, it's gold.
And I guess what I like to help people understand is a matter of, why do people value real estate so much? Because if you look at the list of assets or necessities for humans, right? You get down to the basics. People they need food,
right?
And need a place to live. Right?
Exactly.
That's where you see many of your most wealthiest people in the world.
Right.
They own apartment complexes, condominiums, hotels, and housing is becoming such a.
I'm dealing with a gentleman right now, because I do commercial as well, and a gentleman right now that's wanting to put money into apartment buildings, so he generates a steady income, and there's a lot to be said for that. I'm looking for him, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should be doing this again.
Well, and it's just a great industry to be in. Somebody, like I said, with the expertise that you have, that really makes it easier for a lot of people to keep up with that, because it is an ever-changing market. You need somebody who has that expertise, and if the expertise is not there, you find out real fast.
You do find out.
There's a lot of people who get into this without having that background that you bring, and then you run into problems pretty quickly thereafter. Talk a little bit about the correct pricing and improvement in home conditions becoming so much more a factor now, because
people are getting, like I said before, they were up against 30 offers, and there was a deadline, and they were getting so desperate because they had already put in offers on 5 homes, and then somebody bid them out. And so then they would come in there, would waive inspections, they'd waive just surveys and different things. Now, with it normalizing, you're seeing that they're doing the inspection, they're doing the surveys, it's more getting down to only instead of 30 people bidding, there's a third of that, 10.
Right.
But I had a friend that she's a realtor, and they went over 200,000 over asking price, which I was shocked, but it's still happening, And then I got this for my last customer for 25,000 under asking price, and so it's all over the board right now. Like I said, it's starting to normalize. So if you're looking to sell, now is a good time to sell, because it's a good time to buy as well. So you can sell your home and get a home or a condo or a townhome or whatever it is your needs are at a good price. And I think a good rate, because again, you're married to the home, you date the rate.
And essentially, I'm trying to think of the most effective way to explain that, but it's a matter of, would you rather pay $100,000 up front over the initial value of the house, or pay that out at a higher rate spread out over 30 years?
Well,
is that a
fair way you can date it, and you can always, if the rate comes down, you can always refinance. So, or you can pay by monthly, and that cuts it down as well. So.
Right. No, a lot of people don't realize that strategy. That is very popular. I've studied that because of a financial. When I was back in Anheuser-Busch, I knew the InBev thing was coming for a lot of people. And a buddy of mine said, "Come over here and get your license and do all stuff." So I was licensed for a number of things, and then that's when the 2008 crash happened, and then mortgages were a large part of the business. And I said, "I'm going to stick with my internet marketing." Literally, was up to almost a regional vice president position, but things change, and you've got to adapt. And so a lot of people do bounce around and go into other industries, but somebody like yourself that's been doing it for so long, very important for a lot of people. Tell us why sellers and buyers are looking for agents with strong negotiating, pricing, and communication skills. Why is that so important?
No, you got to know you've got to teach your client what the value of the property that they're going to make an offer in. So you do your comps on it, and you point out, you point out the seller's disclosure and you go over that with them. So inside and out the property as well as you can to explain it to the buyer or to the seller. Or the seller, you think that a lot of sellers sometimes don't want to stage because they don't want to put any money into it. Staging is a huge asset. It's the way my daughter bought her house. They saw it empty at first and then came back and looked at it again, and thank goodness they did. It was staged and it sold it. So there's different ways that we can teach sellers how to, here's a recommendation. It's not something they have to do, but it's a recommendation of how to sell their home. And buying homes, again, pointing out things like locations, or if they're new to the area, the schools, what they're looking for as far as the schools for their children, and what areas is good for that. And there's just all different factors that play into this.
Well, we literally have covered a ton of information for people here, and I told you it goes fast.
It does go fast.
This interview was originally scheduled for 15 minutes. We're up over a half hour right now, here within about a minute and a half. We're 27 minutes right now.
I appreciate you for inviting me on this show. This has been wonderful. Thank you.
And I do want people to understand, that there's just so much that you've got to cover when you're looking into the purchase of a home, and just really with somebody that you can know and trust that has the expertise to do that.
And you've known me for years.
And I was gonna say, and the relationships I've had are many, but it's very few that you can argue say I've known longer than you, Tammy. And so that's important. That's kind of what, and I make the argument that in our world today, we're tired of the quick flash, hit, click, text, Facebook, email. I want to get to know somebody. People are tired of all that. It becomes cluttered. So it gets down to where you have to get to know somebody. Who is it that has an established relationship, established trust, and is a leader in the community? And that is specifically why I invite people to be on the show, including yourself. So thank you so much for coming into the studio today and taking time to talk to us, because, again, rarely do you get somebody with the breadth of experience that you have, and we want to have more leaders like yourself in the studio, and you're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Welcome to come back anytime. We appreciate
Absolutely.
it. All right, everybody. Stay tuned for more. Again, this is the TammyDsells.com. We'll go to the wide shot. We put this up on the screen for everybody to see. Tammy D. Sells, Coldwell Banker, 618-920-9701.
You can find me at the Town and Country location. Come say hello or call me, and we'll meet for lunch.
Have lunch with Tammy, everybody. I might even be
come
there
join us, Carter.
That's right. I'm always easy to find, and so for a lot of people, as we did jump around there, but there we go. Now,
and
where's
there
the good point?
Is.
There's the cowboy hat, and we want everybody to feel comfortable and realize, we're all stand up for when we talk community. That's when I put the hat on, and I appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yeah. Stay
tuned for more, everybody. You're listening to the Your Little Castle Show. Hopefully, you're watching it too. Thanks, everybody.
Yay!